Hey everybody, going back to Italy again this time for one of the bottles in our April Sparkle-ist shipment. This time we're working with Fongaro. This is a Metodo Classico, so it's made in the champagne method, it's not a Prosecco, and this is a just fantastic example of what can come out of Italy. This is just a great wine for a few different reasons. First of all, the grape. It's an unusual grape for sparkling. You don't see it a lot. Durella is the name of the grape. When wines are made from this grape, they're called Durello. So if you see Durello, that's the wine. Durella is the grape. It's an unusual grape. It's really indigenous to the region, going back to about the 13th century. And it really wasn't used a whole lot. It was sort of rediscovered in the 60s. And it was a hard grape to work with. Before some more modern wine-taking techniques and understanding kind of came in to play, it created wines that could be a little bit harsh, very high acid. Wines were often watered down or used to blend with other reds to add acidity to those reds. But now it's been kind of tamed, so to speak, and this producer, they really wanted to focus on Durella. It's their main grape that they work with. They wanted to work with a product and a grape that reflected who they were and gave a sense of their belonging to the land that they grew up on. So that's awesome on its own. Also very unusual is that they make only sparkling wine. They decided to just focus on champagne method wines 100%. So that's their sole focus, and it's working really well. The Durella grape is really well suited for sparkling wine, partly because of the volcanic soil that it's grown in around there imparts a good minerality to it. Again, the high acidity, all these things just make it lend itself very well for sparkling wine. And the bottle is great because they add a little bit of information on the back. Right, this one harvest in 2018. In May of 2019 is when it went into the bottle for the second time, for the second fermentation, to create the bubbles. And then it was disgorged in October of 22, so after about 36 months. And then it rested for about another year before they released it. So a lot of time and age adds complexity to a wine, and this one is no exception. Right, the nice golden color, right, shows that it's got a little bit of age to it. It's a powerful, delicious, amazing wine. It's just got a lot going on in it. There's so many layers of aromas in here. You've got, I know it sounds weird to say, but like hillsides, bush on a hillside. Like just close your eyes, smell it, and imagine walking up a hill and just kind of the shrubs and maybe some wild berries and stuff like that on the shrubs. It's just kind of what you're getting out of the aromas here. So there's strawberries. There's also honey, apple, and it all kind of comes together on a little bit of a balsamic background. So really interesting, a lot of flavor and a lot of aroma. And then flavor is the same, a lot of a flavor. It hits your tongue with a nice punch, right? It's really decisive and fresh when it hits your tongue, and there's this big fruity and sweet kind of, not sweet from sugar, sweet just from the fruit itself. This fruity, sweet, little punch that hits you when it hits your tongue. But then that kind of evolves as you start to swallow, and it changes into more of a savory, almost salty note. And yeah, it's just delicious the way that happens. It's wonderful. So just a great wine. So much going on. Great food wine. This is really good for food. Pretty much a lot of your Italian foods are going to go really well with this. Where grapes are grown and the food is grown tend to go together very well. That's very true with this one is here. So just a very interesting producer. Also in 1985, they decided to go organic, and they were the first winery in their whole region to become practicing organic. So they set themselves apart with that. They don't do a lot of they don't use a lot of mechanization. They do a lot of manual labor, right? So they just really take their time, and it's a laborious process, but they just want to do it right. So hopefully you're getting this in the April shipment. If you're not, always reach out, see if we can add to one of the other shipments, and just a fantastic example of what can come out of the north of Italy here. So, cheers.